She's bleeding! They hit her again, the little girl screamed, sprinting into the circle of roaring engines and leather jackets. One biker reached down to scoop her into his arms, gently pushing her back, as dozens of others fanned out, engines idling, faces grim. All at once the harsh clang of metal echoed. The bikers moved in formation, cutting off escape routes. "Back away from her," one rough voice barked, his knuckles white around the grip of a helmet. Before we dive into the story, drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from. We love hearing from you. All right, let's jump in. On the asphalt, her mother lay crumpled. A man in a black leather vest stood over her, sneering, fists clenched. The bikers converged swiftly. "Don't you dare touch her again," another biker shouted, launching forward like a freight train. The aggressor stumbled. In seconds, the circle tightened, and the attacker was pinned to the ground, surrounded, outmatched. The little girl, trembling, covered her mouth as she watched. Some bystanders gasped, others raised their phones to film. The scene turned electric, charged with fear, outrage, hope. 2 months before, this woman, Mariam, had moved to this small town to start fresh. A single mom, she'd worked 2 jobs and rented a modest house near the highway. She hardly knew anyone. The town whispered things: outsider, woman alone, easy mark. She carried scars from a past no one saw, a childhood lost to neglect, years of hiding. She vowed never to be helpless again. She learned to stand, to fight in her own ways, but always quietly. That night, she was walking home late from her shift when the assailant followed her from the alley. He grabbed at her, shoved her, tried to rob her. She resisted. He struck her. She screamed. A group of bikers had been returning from a charity ride. They saw her from a distance, heard the struggle. They pulled over. Some thought twice. Should we get involved? But one young man, Raj, had the clearest eyes. She's in trouble. He and a few others had already locked their bikes and rushed in. That's how the little girl came into the picture. Mamta, age 7, had followed her mother out. She'd been waiting for her at a side street. When she saw the fight, she ran. So in that moment, the bikers faced not just an attacker, but the raw fragility of a child guarding her mother. Back to now, the pinned assailant strained, kicking and cursing. The lead biker, a tall, silver-haired man named Zara, spoke low and firm. "Why? You thought you could take advantage of a woman walking alone?" He was not asking permission. He was exposing cowardice. Several bikers held him down. Others shielded Mariam and Mamta from the crowd. One biker knelt beside the child, wrapping a jacket around her shoulders. Another knelt at Mariam's side, gently calling her name in staccato, seeing the blood from a cut on her lip, assessing whether she could stand. Silence rippled through the onlookers as the bikers' formation looked more like protection than aggression. Phones lowered. Tension snapped. Then Zara reached into his vest and produced his phone, dialing 911. "We have assault in progress. Please send help. One female injured, one suspect detained." The aggressor spat. "You'll pay for this." "No," Zara hissed. "You'll answer for it." The sirens came. Police lights painted the evening in red and blue. Officers emerged, weapons down, eyes cautious. The crowd parted. The bikers stepped back, but remained as silent guardians. The little girl, still shaking, whispered, "Mum, are you okay?" Mariam turned her head, cracked a fragile smile. She reached for her daughter. When police officers approached, Zara held up his hands. "We intervened to stop violence. He was assaulting her just now. We restrained him. You can verify with her daughter and witnesses." Officers exchanged glances. One asked the aggressor, "What happened?" His voice trembled under pressure. Witnesses, neighbors, passers-by began to speak up. "I saw him strike her." She screamed. He dragged her toward his car. The bikers didn't gloat. They quietly gave their names to the police, removed helmets, peeled off leather gloves, revealing sweat and fear and purpose. While officers took statements, one biker, Raj, sat quietly next to Mariam. He extended a bottle of water, gently. "Take your time," he said. Mamta leaned close to her mother, tears in her eyes. The biker beside her placed a comforting hand on her back. Some in the crowd muttered, "Why did these bikers stop? Are they vigilantes?" But as the narrative spread in whispers, more voices sided with them. They saved her. They stood up. At the hospital, doctors found bruises, a mild concussion, but nothing life-threatening. Mariam rested, Mamta by her side. The police confirmed the assailant had multiple complaints in his record. The bikers, 60 of them, gathered outside the hospital corridor, boots squeaking on the linoleum. They stayed, watching over, unwilling to leave until Mariam and Mamta were safe. Days later, the local newspaper ran the headline, "Bikers intervene, rescue mother and child, heroes on motorcycles." People debated, are motorcyclists dangerous outlaws or unexpected protectors? As the story went viral, the narrative shifted. Comments flooded in, never judge by appearance. Courage comes in leather jackets too. Mariam's voice cracked in her statement, I didn't know who would help me. I only saw them charging in. They saved my life. And my daughter's. Mamta, bouncing awkwardly between hugs and tears, said softly, I asked them not to hurt my mum again. They listened. Then came the reversal twist. Investigators discovered that among those bikers was someone from Mariam's past, Raj, who had once volunteered at a women's shelter she had helped. She had taught basic self-defense classes there, hoping to reach women like her. She never knew he'd remember her face until that night. He recognized her instantly under the dim streetlights and knew he had to act, not just as a stranger, but as someone indebted to her courage in that shelter. He didn't reveal it until later, when she asked his name. Now she realized the people who saved her had once been beside her, in distant solidarity. That revelation rippled through her mind, light in darkness, connection in chaos. The dangerous bikers had rescued a woman who had helped so many, but lost in the crowd. In the end, the scene unfolds as proof. Courage doesn't always wear a uniform. Heroes don't always look like heroes. Sometimes they ride in, roaring engines, hands open to protect. Mariam and Mamta emerged. The bikers clasped hands with mother and daughter, bowed slightly, and receded into the night, engines revving, tires spinning, disappearing down the road. The townsfolk watched in awe, some applauding, some whispering, all changed. Mariam raised a trembling hand. Thank you. She turned to Raj, her eyes wide. He nodded. Mamta waved at them, heart full. Don't judge souls by their appearance. Real valor is in doing what's right, even when no one expects it. Everyone sees things differently. Tell me how this story felt to you and what you would do if you were in their place. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below.